Fanboy, 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 fanboy. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Fanboy Reviews Countdown, and today we're gonna count down the top 10 worst FPS first-person shooters ever made. These are the crappiest, most heinous video games in FPS first-person shooter genre. Alright, number 1. Rogue Warrior came out in 2009 for the 360, PS3, and the PC. Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, Rogue Warrior got very negative scores on all the platforms for well-deserved reasons. This is a glitch-ridden mess, and featured absolute garbage enemies with pathetic dumbed-down AI, unpolished graphics that would look absolutely embarrassing on the original Xbox, poorly conceived environments with hideous pop-ins everywhere, horrendous writing and dialogue, terrible storytelling. Characters have no dimension, absolutely just completely shallow characters, very little character development if there's any at all. And of course, the main character is voiced by Mickey Rourke, who was absolutely wasted as a voice talent for the English dub, and absolutely no presence online, so, if you try to play the multiplayer, it's practically useless. Rogue Warrior is a complete waste of $60 when it came out, and to any sad individual that was unfortunate enough to fall for this, I feel bad for you. Ugh. Number 2. Halo. That's right, Halo came out in 2001 for the original Xbox. At the beginning it was an Xbox exclusive. This is arguably the most overrated game in history. Basically, it was just a Metroid ripoff. That's right. Stole ideas from, other games like Goldeneye, Doom, and Marathon from 1994. If you guys haven't checked out Marathon, go check out that game. It's a classic shooter from the mid-90s. But basically, Halo, the shooting mechanics is just very by the numbers, very generic. The two-weapon system and the regenerating health has been done to death, at that point. The vehicle sucked and ripped off Red Faction. The voice acting and cinematics are nothing impressive. The enemies are way too stupid and nonsensical. You got like monsters and weird alien things with plates on their heads and exploding weird alien things. The environments feel kind of empty and very desolate, so it's, whether you're in an island, with beaches and all that, or inside a giant temple, it doesn't matter. Everything feels non-populated and very empty. So, Halo, absolute trash. Number 3, GoldenEye 007, came out in 97 for the N64. Oh my, this is an absolute garbage FPS, looks horribly outdated to this day, brought no innovation or excitement to, a once thriving genre on the PC. Featured nothing but forgettable and crappy characters from the James Bond franchise, which, you're talking about James Bond here. Who cares about James Bond, man? Sucks to begin with, man. I mean, nobody cares about James Bond. GoldenEye 007 was a very unsuccessful and sold very little, especially compared to, other N64 games like Mario 64 and Mario Kart 64. The split screen multiplayer was only up to 4 people, so that really sucked monkey turds, man. 4 people? Boring campaign that basically stole ideas from Time Splitters. That's right, ripped off Time Splitters. But this was just a complete waste of time and money. GoldenEye 007 is absolute feces. Alright, number 4. Doom came out in 1993. Originally for the MS-DOS computer. One of the worst games ever made, with terrible linear gameplay. ugly graphics and bad stage designs. It claimed to be 3D, you know, it was, oh, 3D, 3D. It's not even true 3D, man. I mean, you just basically have stupid 2D drawings of characters that moved around like a sprite. So basically it's trying to trick you. Had stupid power-ups, which proved absolutely useless in the later stages. Lame weapon system. They weren't even cool, you know, the weapons sucked during the 90s. Cartoonish demonic enemies that look no different than the Simpsons version of Satan, aka the devil. You ever watch The Simpsons in that red cartoon Simpsons Satan version? So stupid. Doom is ultimately a crappy shooter that ripped off Wolfenstein. Exactly. Wolfenstein came out first, and you know, that game had like the FPS innovation, and then Doom did nothing but rip off from it. So I mean, how original can they get? And the only reason that Doom became well known because people mistook it for Duke Nukem 3D. Yeah, people thought it was Duke Nukem 3D. They were like, oh, what is this, Duke Nukem? But it turned out to be just some crap named Doom. Number 5, CounterStrike, came out in 2000 for the PC. This basically had awful multiplayer. It's, you know, it's a PC shooter that brought nothing fresh or new to the FPS table. Most kids played it on the internet cafes back in the day, which was just a waste of money and time. Basically, you can go through spectator mode and just cheat the entire time, which basically ruins the experience. Horrible graphics that made Goldeneye look like Crysis 7. Annoying hackers. They just, you cannot play. These people can't play fair, so they have to use cheats. So the game is always just buggy, laggy, you know, so there's really no point of playing Counter-Strike. CS, more like Crapper Strike. Ugh. Alright, number 6, Deus Ex. Came out in 2000 for, again, the PC. There's a lot of these shooters on the PC. First of all, one word when it comes to Deus Ex. Boring. Boring. This is a horrible, dystopian, pseudo-futuristic garbage FPS that feels more like a slow campaign that, you know, it felt more like a slow dungeon crawling RPG. The dialogue is just technobabble fantasy nonsense about the Illuminati and ancient conspiracies and all that fake crap. Rips off The Matrix. Exactly, the Matrix film, you know, the whole shades, jacket, all that stuff. Picking locks, you know, that's what all you're doing in this game. It's basically a chore to pick all these locks. Take up too much time, provide zero effort, no challenge. The shooting mechanics itself is absolutely clumsy, dated, and awkward. You know, and by the way, don't call me a graphics spaz. I am no way, shape, or form a graphics spaz. Basically, because I never even mentioned the ugly, blocky, polygonal, Minecraft-looking characters in this really overhyped nonsense that you call a video game. So Deus Ex absolutely freaking failed. Alright, number 7, Crysis. That's right, came out in 2007. Basically for the PC again. It would be later ported to other systems. But it was originally developed by a studio called Crytek from Germany. So it's not even American. So I mean, you're how can you have a freaking game like this that's not even from America? Give me a break! Horrible gunplay mechanics, very generic aiming system, crappy nano-suit character, you know, the whole suit thing. It basically is a ripoff of Predator mixed with Venom from Spider-Man, so more unoriginality. It only supports like 32 players online, which is a complete waste. I mean, 32? There's way more people on the internet than 32, man. I mean, give me a freaking break! I mean, how many people use the internet? And there's only 32 available slots? Crappy vehicles that basically ripped off Battlefield. You know, at least the console versions, I will say this, at least the console home system versions are slightly better, you know, with improved graphics compared to the PC, but even those are still piles of monkey crap. Alright, number 8, Half-Life 2. Came out in 2004 for the PC. Where do you begin, man? I mean, Half-Life 2. Uninspired graphics, you know, unrealistic characters. The heads are way too big, man. Very cartoonish look. Terrible environments. Like, for example, you know, if you're walking down in a place, an area with a lot of trees, the trees don't even move. They don't even sway. Because, you know, if the wind is blowing, there's no wind engine. There's no... You know, it's not realistic at all. Horrible, crappy stage designs. You know, it's mostly set in the sewers, underground, or in these cramped little hallways. Very cliche enemies. You got zombies, monsters, walking robots. You know, nothing new. Generic soldiers. You know, not to mention that the dumbest physics in the gaming history. You know, you pick up items from far away and throw them around like some sort of X-Men character. But it's not even like a real superpower, you know? It's not like you can actually move it because you have some sort of telekinetic powers. It's just a stupid weapon, you know, like a freaking gun or something. The story sucked too. Terrible plot. You know, it's already forgotten at this point. You know, it's very forgettable. Number 9, Fear. Came out in 2005 again for the PC. Yeah, Fear, or F-E-A-R. Very generic storytelling. Basically, it's about some stupid girl flashing you annoyingly throughout the game. Stupid, stuttering gameplay that basically flips back and forth from action to cinematic. So, you know, you'll have this fast-paced action stuff, and then next thing you know, you're running really slowly, and it's like in slow motion, and you just never know what's going on in the game. The characters are very uninspired and not very interesting. Very bland and repetitive environments. It's always the same thing. Every place looks the same. Title is basically an acronym for Fear, Encounter, Assault, Recon, but should actually just stand for Failure, Error, Awful, Return. As in, you know, you should return this failed error of an awful game back to GameStop. And number 10, to round out this top 10 worst FPS games ever, Unreal Tournament. Came out in '99 for the PC. Again, the PC. Ugh. I believe it also came out a couple years later for the PS2, but it doesn't even matter. It's a very one-dimensional multiplayer shooter. All it does is pander, you know, to computer nerds, these little geeks that just play shooters all day. The level designs are very bland and not imaginative at all. Incredibly lame weapons and power-ups that make Mario seem more realistic. There's no storyline at all, which means that you can't involve in any sort of character development or immersive plot. You know, you're just shooting bots, you know, in all these repetitive death matches after death matches after death and so on and so forth. Basically ripped off Quake 3 Arena from id Software. Yeah, all it did was rip off Quake. I mean, so unoriginal. You know, that's the problem with a lot of these crappy FPS games. You know, they're not new, they're not fresh. This is just a pile of unoriginal alien feces. So that's it, the top 10 worst first-person shooters of all time. Don't ever try to play these games. They're craptacular. A lot of them are completely horrible looking. You know, the graphics suck, story stinks, the shooting mechanics terrible, the multiplayer is whack. If you want nothing but quality FPS, I think we all know what it is. Do I even have to say it? Do I even have to mention it? Call of Dizzle. That's right, Call of Duty. And later this year, they're gonna come out with Call of Duty Ghosts. You know, that's gonna be the greatest game of all time. Already, you know, just pre-order it. You know, if you want nothing but amazing multiplayer, incredible online presence, amazing graphics, fantastic storylines and characters. You know, a game that you actually care about. It's all about COD. You know, Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 3. You know, it's a long-lasting legacy. It's definitely the opposite of all, you know, the top 10 crappiest FPS in this list. You know, it's nothing but pure quality. It brings gaming to the next level, unlike these piles of crap that, I've mentioned already, so that's it for this episode of Fanboy Reviews, and until next time, keep fanboying. Yeah!